Welcome back to 21 Minute Reads with me, Maya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is Hot Feet and, can you see that? Hot Feet and Social Change. As a part of the Read 21 and 21 challenge, I'm reading 21 minutes per day, every day as an action of self-love, an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever-changing world. Well, hoping that you will join me along this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving some comments down there so there's actual dialogue. Remembering that while I do have several decades of experience as a performer, educator, researcher, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply creating a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read pages 221 through the end, and here are my takeaways. Social commentary. So when speaking of the history of hip hop and the initial role of the MC, this idea of social commentary comes up. So the MC speaks about the event, what's going on in the event, what's going on in the vicinity, and what's going on in the world, the social, political events going on in the world. This is referenced in that Netflix documentary on hip hop in the first couple of episodes. But also, I feel like I always see this or experience this when I'm in Baltimore and I'm around one of my favorite Baltimore DJs, Pork Chop. He talks about what's going on inside the space, what people are wearing, what's happening, right? Well, this idea of toasting is a Caribbean thing, but it's also said that that Caribbean toasting has roots in Africa and linkage to the griot and praise singers. Well, we see a real life example of this in the book, in the Tamale Example 1 experience. So it's this experience, this performance, this presentation is complete with the social commentary. What's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And in this case, the ugly is that one of the dancers has been known not to keep their hands to themselves, but it's given to the community like this is what's going on because we are community. Well, the unfortunate thing that in this case study section, is that the commentary, that social commentary begins to fade away as the audience changes. So when these performances are done for audiences that are unfamiliar with the language or might not lack the understanding of the proverbs, that drops out. I say it's unfortunate because in order to preserve aspects of the culture, meaning the culture is taking out into other places, there's also an aspect of the culture that's lost. But takeaway number 2, the break, is an example of something that's gained. So here's the quote. Standardized musical cues are preferred to the in-movement flow. So in-movement flow meaning the movement's going on, you know when to change, right? The music starts playing, you're at a party, no one has to say 5, 6, 7, 8, start. You know when to start because you understand the music, right? So have that in mind. You know when to start because you understand the music. This quote is taken from the Cornelius and Idrisu's section of Accra, speaking of innovation. So when we think about Leopold, Nkrumah, Opoku, Nikitia's visions of the ballet, the performance company, they had this idea of bringing a unified company together. So bringing in people from multiple groups to have this company. This section describes some of the challenges and some of the blessings of that vision. Yeah, so blessings, challenges, the balance, right? The next takeaway is searching inward. So I've been guilty of saying that there are no drummers in the city that I live in. And after reading this section, I feel like that there could possibly be some. They just might not be where I am looking. So I need to do better tapping into the resources around. So in the diaspora folkloric performance section, it's noted that Habib Idrisu was a student at an American university, but he was a student, but contained all of the embodied knowledge necessary to run classes in movement and dance because he was a part of one of the premier companies while he was in Ghana, right? So here's a person in the university that's in a student role this outside of the music and dance realm, but has all of the knowledge, right? So now I'm thinking, as I'm looking for places, as I'm looking for musicians, maybe I need to look outside of the place that musicians usually are in order to find the resources that I need to better my craft and run my classes. So, takeaway number 4. Yeah, I said 4. I said that. Takeaway number 4 is parallel. Here's the quote. Walk in parallel. So this quote was given by Baba Chuck Davis when he's setting a duet on Dr. Baba Kamal Nance and Baba Stafford. And this walk in parallel section, Dr. Baba Nance, focuses on, and I'm going to use his quotes, on a collective discourse of African Americans who dance and employ African dance vocabularies. So when I think of modern dance, I often think about that use of parallel and modern dance as a resistance and a revolt to some of the ideas of ballet, specifically the aesthetics and classism. But I can honestly say that I focus it most on the woman's body and not in this writing by Baba Kamal Nance has me now thinking about like where does the male body live in my narrative? Where does, or in that narrative, right? So opening my perspective about the use of parallel and how it is used, who it's used by, and what it could actually mean. Yes, I did 4. You know why I did 4? Because this is the end. So I know it was a longer video and I just had a lot to cover. So what are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments. And if you want to know some more about West African dance, see the details down there. In the meantime, stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you soon.